So Jobi, first of all, congratulations. You signed a new one-year deal here at the club. Was it an easy decision for you to make?
Yeah, in the end it was. I had a chat with Lingy and Ross a few weeks ago, and they were very keen for me to play a part in things moving forward, as was I. But when you get to 38, sometimes that's not just your decision. So, clearly from that point of view, it was a real positive discussion, and then it's just been a matter of sorting a few things out, given the current climate that we're in, and making sure everything was right for all parties. And thankfully we've been able to do that. Obviously at a stage of my career when there are other things going on that I do enjoy doing away from Leyton Orient, but at the same time this is very much my focus, and I want to be able to still play a role, certainly on the pitch, which I feel I can do, and around the place, and that's certainly for me my main priority at this stage of my career, and certainly wouldn't have wanted to extend that if perhaps my main focus wasn't on that. So absolutely delighted to get it all done and stay at the club for at least another year.
Touched on the playing side of it there. Obviously last year probably wasn't the season you wanted in terms of playing. How are you in terms of fitness and coming into pre-season ahead of next year?
Yeah, feeling good. Obviously last year, as everyone knows, was very frustrating. It took a while to get to the bottom of what the real issue was. And once I had the second op November and did all my rehab, I felt good. Obviously it was back training for quite a while before I finally got back on the pitch. Unfortunately that was the last game before obviously lockdown and everything that happened. So yeah, I've just been trying to make sure I keep myself ticking over. Obviously worked really hard to get back to that stage, and got a lot of work to do again to get to the level that I want to get to, and that's going to be able to allow me to play a part, and that's again something that's very important for me moving forward. I don't want to just be a bit part, or just be here for the ride. I want to contribute, and that's a big thing for me. And I felt good. As I say, I've maintained it as much as I can, and really looking forward to pre-season now, if you can actually look forward to pre-season.
In terms of your actual role, obviously part of that is being part of the coaching setup as well. So how did you find that in your first year, and how are you looking forward to that developing in the next season?
Yeah, it was something I really enjoyed, and something that gave me, again, in those difficult times in terms of not being able to be on the pitch, really kept me involved. Of course, being on the touchline, match days was massive, because that's really the bit that you do miss when you're injured. But also everything behind the scenes, doing the work with the lads on the training ground. I really enjoyed doing, particularly like the individual stuff, the small units where you've got the time to really work with those players, and again then going into the bigger areas, match preparation, watching the videos, analysis. It was all fantastic learning for me, with obviously Ross, who was fantastic, and the other coaching department as well. So certainly something I want to continue doing, and keep improving, keep learning, and hopefully be able to juggle that a little bit easier this year in terms of actually being available to play a lot more than I was last year.
In terms of improvement, obviously I think the whole club's looking to improve next year. Obviously quite a tight-knit group, and a lot of players are going to be staying together ahead of next season. Just how important is that?
I think it's massive, given the amount of uncertainty around football in general, particularly at our level, with the impact that COVID is going to have moving forward. There'll be a lot of clubs that already have had to release, a large proportion of their playing staff, so that's going to be a challenge away from here for a lot of other clubs. We fortunately don't have that. Again, I can't speak highly enough of Nigel and Kent, and all the board in terms of how they've gone out of their way to make sure that all employees, not just the footballers, have been looked after as much as possible. And certainly from our point of view as players, we really want to repay that. And I think by having a group together, I compared last season a little bit to the first season that came, a rebuilding job. Obviously everything that happened, we've spoken about. It was a real tough season last year, to overcome the things that we had to. But we've got that now. We've got that as a base, and for me, we can really use that to push on this year, and it's certainly something we'll be looking to do.
Yeah, you touched on a little bit there about obviously COVID-19 and the implications it had. It's been tough for a lot of people, but I think during this time we've seen the Orient fans have come out and backed the club, as usual, and 2,500 season tickets have been sold. So what would your message be to them ahead of the campaign?
Well, listen, again, my experience with the fans, particularly since I've been back, has been, I've been blown away by their dedication to the football club. through some real difficult, dark days, particularly during my first spell and then the time I was away from the club. And they've backed this club to the hilt, ever since, with the numbers that turn up every week, the travelling support we get, and to see the response that's been to this has been incredible. The amount of shirt sales we've already done, last year's total plus more. Again, season tickets when we're not even exactly sure when people are going to be coming into the building. Again, people not asking for refunds and allowing that to stay within the club. On previous season tickets, they're all things that certainly don't go unnoticed. By us. They're things that we're very much aware of, and again, we're just incredibly grateful for that support that's helped the club keep ticking over, and hopefully will help keep it stable, in the longer term, and give us again that platform to really kick on, and hopefully that will be rewarded, with performances on the pitch, and hopefully longer term getting us where we really want to get to and getting promoted.